Well, hello everyone, and you're welcome to my YouTube page. My YouTube page is called Femi Diaries. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I'm asking you today to go ahead and subscribe onto my YouTube channel and press that notification bell so that you can get any new content that is being posted. I'm continuing today on the 7 most important things in life. This is going to be the concluding one in this series, and we're going to be talking today about your health. Now, with our health, this is huge because obviously without good health, there is so much we cannot do. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about a few bullet points under this. The first one I'm going to talk about has to do with water or water. Now, water, 70% of the body's mass is water. 70%. Now, our brain cells is composed of 85% of water. Our brain cells, 85% water. Our muscle mass, muscles in our body, is 75% water. 25% of our bones, it's water. So what are we saying here? Water is crucial. Water is very important for us. And water really helps us, fight off a lot of immune problems. It helps us, keep a good health. And, drinking more water every day is not a big deal, but this is something we all really need to look into to prevent all kinds of diseases in our bodies. It helps our bowels. It helps us really function better. Water is so important for us, and that's why I gave us these statistics. So that's the first thing we definitely want to increase the intake of water in our lives. Now, the second thing I want to mention to us after water is sleep. Now, as simple as it seems, statistics are showing us that a lot of people are not getting enough sleep. Now, statistics is showing us that 50 to 60 million Americans are sleep deprived and on the brink of a mental and a physical breakdown. 50 to 60 million. This statistics is from about between the last five years. Another thing that statistic showed is that over 50 million Americans were given pills to help them sleep. The same research shows that 60 million Americans have sleep disorders, like insomnia. Another thing that the research also shows is that over $200 billion was lost in revenue due to sleep deprivation in people. So we are talking about a major issue right here. People are not getting enough sleep. It's leading to disease. It's breaking down the body's function. The body's not having the kind of immunity that it should have. This is a crisis. So we need to look into beginning to work on certain things. Now, some of the things the research shows is that many times people have to begin to watch. There are some medications that affect people and cause this sleep deprivation. Also, the kind of foods that people are eating. The kind of foods people are eating is another cause many times for people not being able to get the kind of sleep they should get. Obviously, the light, how much light is coming into, for example, the bedroom. One that will shock you is people who are found to exercise just a few hours before they went to bed had problems going to bed or going to sleep. So even exercise was another thing. So all these factors here are things that when we watch them, they will help us to get better sleep. We need to have good sleep for us to really work on this pillar of health, which is one of the 7 most important things in our lives. Now, I'm going to go to the third one. We talked about water, we talked about sleep. Then let's talk about stress. That's the third one. Stress is another thing that we have to manage if we're going to have good health. Now, the research showed that alcohol, cigarettes, and even exercise all combined together, even when doing all these things, if people's stress level was still higher, even with all this combined together. So even people taking in intake of alcohol, taking intake of cigarettes and exercise, all that combined together, the stress levels were still higher than that. This is huge. So a lot of people are being stressed by so many things. So, one of the things I just want us to begin to think about when we talk about stress is we have to begin to develop mindfulness. Mindfulness talks about being able to be present in the moment. These are things to help us reduce stress. There are so many things that can be stress factors in our life, and obviously it affects our health. It breaks down the body's function. It causes aging to happen faster, heart attacks, problems with our health, all kinds of issues come because of stress. So we're saying here that one of the things that will help us with this is mindfulness, being able to be in the moment. Another thing is positive, or I call it, refrain from negative thinking. Our thinking is very important when we begin to talk about stress, because if we are not thinking in a positive way, those thoughts will cause stress in our bodies, and they begin to build up cortisol, which is a hormone in the body that really leads to a lot of problems in our system. So we want to begin to refrain from negative thinking and really begin to think more positively. Another thing that will help us with stress is forgiveness. Learning to forgive wrongs. If people have done things wrong to us, the sooner we can forgive, the sooner we improve our health. Another thing is learning to say no. Sometimes we are taking on too much in corporate America, in different aspects of our lives, and those things are causing a lot of stress in our lives. Beginning to learn how to say no is going to be very helpful for us. Another thing that will really help us with reducing stress is to know what are your stressors. What are the things that lead to stress in your life? If you begin to know your stressors, is it your children? Is it the kind of job you have? Then you begin to learn what you need to do to work on these stressors. That's another thing. Another thing that we also want to do is to create margin in our lives. As we create margin in our lives, we don't want to have an appointment in 10 minutes and just hit the road. We want to give ourselves time to do the different things we need to do. That will really help us reduce stress in our lives. So these are some of the things here under stress. The fourth one I want to mention is detoxication. So detoxification is going to also be something else we want to look at when we want to improve our health. There's a lot of toxins in a lot of things. I heard that a sample of 10 babies who were just born, and they took some readings from them and found out that they had already encountered 287 contaminants as babies. Every year in the United States, over 80,000 chemicals are registered in the United States. Now, we're talking about chemicals that are involved with our food, involved with different things we wear, all kinds of different things of that sort. Over 80,000 chemicals are being registered. So these chemicals are involved with many times causing toxins that lead to the problem we had with detoxification. We have to begin to detox in one way or the other. Our water is not clean. Our food many times has, impurities and stuff inside. So basically what we can do here to really help is, one of the things is fasting. And I know a lot of people don't like to talk about fasting, but what fasting does is that it begins to help your body recuperate, and it begins to release those toxins that are in your body. Your liver and all the different parts of your body that are involved with digestion and the rest can begin to relieve and release those toxins that many times happen through fasting. Another thing is also filtered water. So the kind of water we drink also matters. Filtered water will help with detoxification, and obviously organic food. These are just some among many other things that will help us. Organic food with detoxification. A fifth one we want to talk about, obviously, is exercise. Exercise helps us in so many ways. One of the big things about exercise is that it reduces, I had to 50% colon cancer, because our colon is involved with our digestive system. And many times when we exercise, it allows that process to be done smoothly. So colon cancer is reduced up to 50% if people exercise. Not just colon cancer, cancer generally, all kinds of cancers. Also, heart diseases, and so many other kind of disease are being brought down because of people being able to exercise. It helps our immune system, and it prevents all kinds of diseases. So kind of beginning to walk in some kind of an exercise plan into our cardio, aerobics, whatever we want to do, will definitely lead to a better health. I mean, these are things we already know, but we definitely need to incorporate into our lives. So exercise is really going to help us a lot. Obviously, food is another one of these pillars. Food. And with food, the funny thing is that many times the comfort food that we like to go to and have when we're in a period of stress, many times are the foods that are not good for us. We know food, with not eating the right kind of food, it elevates all kinds of diseases in our lives, all kinds of problems. It causes obesity, it causes type 2 diabetes, it causes all kinds of issues. So food is going to be a big one. Definitely foods, organic foods are being recommended, organic foods, because they have less toxins and stuff that affect our body. Organic foods, and not just that, just being able to really watch the kind of things we eat. Obviously, we know fruits and vegetables are the things that do us a lot of good. And then, the meats in little quantities. We want to do meats in a little quantity. So these are not things that we are not aware of, but being able to incorporate these things into our lives is really what will help our health. That's the thing we really want to watch. The other thing I want to talk about very briefly also is supplements. It's been proven that even the soil now lacks a lot of the nutrients that our body needs. The soil lacks the nutrients that we need in our food. Many of the foods we eat and partake of these days do not have all the nutrients that we need. So we have to now look for supplements so that we can have the kind of, the different nutrients that we need, whether they're vitamins, minerals, because for the body to function and to do the things it needs to do, to prevent quick aging, to prevent diseases, sicknesses, and all these different things, it's going to require us, to have the nutrients in the food that we eat. Because again, also we boil our food, the temperatures we put the food in, all the different things we do, the way we preserve them, they affect the nutrient content in the food. So many times the food end up not having the nutrition that our body needs, and we end up not having all that our body needs. So we're saying here that supplements have now become necessary for us to really maintain a good health now. We know that vitamins are very important for our bodies. We know that minerals are very important for our bodies also. And every other thing that we need for our bodies to function well. Supplements are also very important now for us to really maintain a good health. So I've just kind of talked very briefly on these different, I call them pillars to health, that will really help us to maintain a good health. We talked about exercise, we talked about food, we talked about stress, we talked about sleep, we talked about water. All these different things are going to help us to maintain a good health. I hope this was really beneficial to you. And, I want you to take some time to really go through this whole series again. Go catch up with the other videos that I posted earlier on the 7 most important things in our life. And I'll begin a new series very soon. Until then, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.